Time to musk up. Wow.
Alright, back again with another top 10 list, and this is a top 10 fall list. Now, what I'm looking for in the fall seasons, typically some dryness, some powderiness, some woodiness, rootiness, spiciness, resinousness, incensiness. Just that's typically what I look for. Usually when we get into the winter season, I will go more into the ambers and the sweetness and I said ambers, so vanilla, amber, technically kind of the same thing, but whatever. Either way, let's get right into the list. I want to begin with a fragrance that has the perfect title to this video, and that is Gucci Alchemist Garden's The Last Day of Summer. So really nice, very simple, just like many of the fragrances here, but initially what you smell just smells very good. And it's basically some cypress tree, like you're in the woods, vetiver in here, patchouli, nutmeg, and like in the background when you smell it, it has this mass appeal designer-esque kind of smell to it, and it's just the right amount. I don't know, maybe it's some amber woods or something like that, but it's really, really nice. One of my favorites personally from the Gucci Alchemist Garden. I keep wanting to say Gucci Guilty. It's one of my favorite from the Alchemist Garden line personally. Last Day of Summer. Next up on the list is, in my opinion, a discontinued gem. I was looking all over the place for it, and I forgot exactly how I acquired this bottle, but I guess that doesn't really matter, and that's Arsène Lupin. I still can't believe Guerlain decided to discontinue this whole line. Personally, for me, this whole line was the best line that they had. I know they moved some of them into the art material line, but it's just not the same. Ooh, man, I don't know if it's the color of the juice that's throwing me off, but this reminds me of like grape seltzer or something like that. It's really, really weird, but I mean, there's nothing in here that would make it smell like grapes as far as the notes are concerned, but some nice citrus at the top. This bitter orange is the citrus, and I get that vetiver, clove, some spiciness here, cardamom. I definitely get that, you know, like I would say a lot of people would probably enjoy this because of that cardamom, because I don't know, Fracom seems to love cardamom, and it's a great note. I enjoy it as well. It's very dry, bone dry, this fragrance. And then in the base you get some nice kind of milky sandalwood mixing in with some nice incense note too. Really can't believe this is discontinued, but I still got a lot left, so see how long this will last me. Next up on the list is actually what I'm wearing right now. I was looking at it, I'm like, you know what, I'll wear this, why not? Vetiver Extraordinaire. I don't know why I want to say it like that when I see this bottle, but Frederic Mall's Vetiver Extraordinaire. So another fragrance that kind of uses this bitter orange at the top and mixing in with this bone dry, rooty vetiver. I think there is some other spices in here as well. Definitely some woodiness in here. Now, although this is made by Dominique Ropion, I could definitely see someone like Jean-Claude Elena making something like this, honestly. And I think he definitely took some inspiration from other fragrances here. I don't know, maybe something in the realm of like Terre de Hermes, although I think this came before Terre de Hermes, but Terre de Hermes, Eau de Hermes, stuff like that. Very nice. Like, this is a true quintessential vetiver fragrance. Vetiver, vetiver, vetiver. Other things going on here, but when you smell it, you can tell that this is a vetiver fragrance if you didn't see the title. But yeah, Vetiver Extraordinaire. Next up on the list is a fragrance that personally for me in this line, it's my favorite. I don't know, it's just when it's on my skin, I just love how subtle and quiet it is. Celine, Eau de Californie. Now this has Palo Santo. The way I kind of explain it is, picture like hamster cage wheel wood chips, the wood chips that you would put in a hamster cage. that flaky wood. Like you could just, when you smell this, you can feel the wood crumbling in your hands. And it's an accord, and I think they're using vetiver to get that accord. So another bone dry, incensey kind of fragrance. And so I think they're using vetiver to give off that Palo Santo effect, because you get vetiver right off the top when you smell it, but it's not in the notes, but you could tell it's there. Nice rootiness from the vetiver, dry, like I said before, and then a lot of ISOE super. So it's just a very woody, incensey fragrance, but it's just so subtle in projection that it's that enjoyable to wear. All right, next up on the list is I think this is probably at this point considered a cult classic. I would like to get a 100 ml bottle in this older bottle, but the prices are kind of crazy. But I'm going to show you both versions that I have, and that is Timbuktu. Alright, and this is obviously the older bottle, and this is the newer bottle. Still don't know what they were doing when they changed these bottles. I mean, when you just look, right, like this has so much more character, right? You can tell the difference in fragrances by the label alone, right? And then the best part, they couldn't even keep one of the coolest parts of their older bottles, the script. L'artisan parfumeur, right? They could have put that on the newer bottles, but no, they decided to switch up the logo, and they gave us this, they gave us this dumb thing. I don't know, it's just not the same. But you know, I'm cherishing this bottle, and this was actually gifted to me by someone in the community. You know who you are, so thank you very much for that. I couldn't believe it. This was like years ago at this point. I'm gonna wear this one, and then once in a while I'll spray this. Unfortunately, there is a difference for me. I think the vetiver is not as rooty here. It's not as dry. It's not as good. It's still good, but not as good. And then that mango, I don't really get the mango here as much as I do here. And so I think there's definitely something missing in this bottle personally. Yeah, either way, I'm still gonna enjoy wearing them. Timbuktu. All right, next up is Comme de Garçon 2-Man. I just recently did a video on this, and this is, I think it was Mark Buxton. He also made Vetiver 46 for Le Labo, and they basically almost smell identical. This fragrance, I basically smells like if you put a match out, that last bit of smoke that comes off of a match when you light it, or when you put it out. That's what this smells like. Aldehydes, vetiver, spicy, woody, green. I guess you could even say leathery, incensey. Very, very nice. And I think I bought this for like 110 bucks. And you really can't go wrong. Although I can't stand this bottle that it sits. I have it wedged in between bottles so it stands up. But yeah, Comme de Garçon 2-Man. Next up on the list is an Eau de Cologne. Right? Well, I think, well, they say it's an Eau de Toilette. This is a little bit stronger than a lot of the original releases in the line, but this one, that I think they amped it up a little bit, and because of the notes aren't citrusy here. But in Edinburgh Chanel on the Les Eaux collection, and I love this stuff is bone dry as well. Cypress, juniper, so icy cold, so good. Yeah, lavender you get here. You get some rootiness from a vetiver as well. I think there's a little bit citrus at the top here, but this is just such a nice easy wear. The projection is very light. It's perfect for the fall in my opinion. Although I think some people might wear this in the summer, and you could, no problem, but for me this works in the fall the best. Next up on the list is a fragrance that recently got discontinued. I mean, I know why, because the perfumer has changed. You can probably guess what the brand is, but unfortunately this is going to happen with a lot of Demaché's fragrances. They're just going to get rid of them, and they're going to make way for Francis Kirkjohn's releases. And this one was Spice Blend that got the axe. And I could have sworn that this was one of their better sellers, but I guess not. I don't know. I kind of describe this as the grown man Spice Bomb. Spice Bomb is for teenagers and people that are in college, and this is what you would wear once you graduate and thereon. Just a whole heap of spices, like nutmeg, Definitely get the clove. The clove comes off here as medicinal. A lot of woodiness here. And all this lays on a bed of amber, but it's not a overly strong amber here. It's not overly sweet, which is why I like this. I think there is some boozy notes in here as well, but I think this one is blended very, very well. Spice blend. So I decided to switch it up a little bit because a lot of all the stuff is modern, and so I decided to throw in a vintage in there, and this is really good personally in my opinion. Aram Devon. Classic Chypre. This is, it says light sporting cologne, but it's still the original Eau de Toilette. Same fragrance. Oh. Yeah, you get that, you get the Chypre smell in there. You get that oak moss, that cypress, that green pininess, the spiciness, the woodiness. This is really good. I've tried, like I said, many vintages that I personally did not end up enjoying, but this is one that I did enjoy. And if you're, I'm going to tell you a secret, if you're actually watching this video 12 minutes in, 10 minutes in, however long it's going to be, but look up when you search, put this in sometimes. And these bottles, I don't know, I guess some people don't know that it's the same fragrance, and they usually go for less money than the regular bottles. And last but not least, this fragrance here, this fragrance will probably, I'll have it until the day I die. Hopefully that's a long time from now, but it's that good. Like personally, if I was like a normal person and I only had like 10 fragrances to keep on rotation, even that's a lot, but that would probably be my number. I'd want to keep like 10 of my favorites. This would definitely make it, I don't know, maybe all three of them, and all the three of these fragrances are really good. The original, and the two flankers. This one is Oud Intense. Now personally for me, I enjoy Oud Intense more than Parfum, although I like Parfum as well, but this stuff is so, I just get lost in this when I smell it. That makeup-y, lipsticky orris mixing in with that vanilla, that chocolate, the spiciness, the lavender, the woodiness. I mean, the blending here is just absolutely superb. You know how good this is? I don't know, I use maybe like an 1 ml or 2 ml, and I was like, you know what? Because this is a 2019, so the bottles, when I found out 2020 was coming out, I was like, all right, I can't really keep spraying this. Or I could, but I didn't want to. So I ended up going and getting a 10 ml decant of this and use that so I could spare this bottle. We'll see how long it gets spared for, but it's just that damn good. All right, that is my top 10 fall list. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you like anything on this list, and let me know what you'll be wearing this fall. Thank you. Take care. Bye.